Hey, everyone. I'm Becca, and he's Matt, and welcome to another episode of Becca's Book Club Adventure.
This evening, we're unpacking all of the fantastical chaos of Crescent City's first book, House of Earth and Blood.
Yes, last week we read part 4 and finally finished the book. And now we've had some time to sit with our thoughts.
And now that we have, we're here to discuss our favorite moments, character arcs, how Crescent City compares to Throne of Glass and ACOTAR, what we think might happen next, etc., etc. And if we've emotionally survived the journey.
But first, we have to thank this episode's sponsor, First Flight. First Flight, the free mystical energy you too can unleash if you casually fall 15,000 feet into oblivion. Goes great with spontaneous personal growth, collapsing under the weight of cosmic expectations, and spontaneous city-saving heroics that you definitely didn't sign up for. Side effects may include existential enlightenment, temporary death, unwanted public attention, and the deep urge to text your ex. Used as directed by ancient celestial prophecies, or when your hometown literally depends on it.
I think I'm still trying to get my head around the drop.
I don't understand it from a physicality standpoint of like, is there just a gaping hole in the middle of the city where people go to perform this drop?
Like, it almost seems like it's completely internal. Like, I got the sense that Bryce was just there by that portal the entire damn time. And, like, inside of her mind or whatever, she did the drop, which then that raises its own questions, you know?
Well, and different people drop at different lengths depending on their power. So that implies that different people stop earlier. So it's not like there's something, like, on the ground keeping you from going further.
Yes. Like, you know, in Throne of Glass, when Aelin and Rowan or whatever are, how do they describe it? Delving down into their power for like days and days and whatever. I imagine that this is similar.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. A metaphysical tunneling.
Okay. Well, hey, now that we've finished the book, give me a vibe check.
I don't know where the next 2 books are going to take us. So I'm really interested as to why people say they don't like the next 2 books. But so far, I'm enraptured with the first one.
I am too. 100%. This is Sarah J. Maas. This is my favorite Sarah J. Maas book. Maybe not series. Yeah. Maybe not series, but definitely
singular book.
Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and compare that to what's the last book of Throne of Glass? Kingdom of Ash. I'll go ahead and
that level.
I'll go ahead and compare this to what is the third ACOTAR book? War and Ruin.
Mm-hmm.
I'll compare this to those, and I think it's better.
Yeah.
I mean, it hit hard. What's your big takeaway?
With love conquers all. The tattoo, right?
That's pretty corny, but you know, I think it's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Bryce used her deep love of friendship to get through those 4 weeks.
I wish I had a friend like that.
Because I don't even think that metaphor is set up really as a sexual partner thing. More of just when we love each other, friends included. That's what gets us through it.
Do you have any friends that you say I love you to?
Yeah.
I mean, I've when I was like touring in the rock and roll band, you know, you give like your bro buddies like the bro hug, and you're like, I love you, man. But like, I don't think I've ever like locked eye contact. Like, I have a friend named Ben, and I don't think I've ever locked eyes with him. You know, it's just like, I love you, Ben.
I mean, I don't think I've ever locked eyes with a lot of them. And a few of them, so Elizabeth is one of the ones where it's taken me a long time to verbally tell Elizabeth that I love her because she's so weird about it when she responds sometimes. And so I think it's taken me a lot of emotional workup to be like, yeah, I do love my sister, and I should tell her that on a routine basis.
You're not alone.
Every time I tell John that I love him, he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you're my brother. I love you. I'm saying this because life is weird, and I don't know that I'll ever get to say it again, so I'm saying it now.
I can just 100% imagine your brother hearing that and going, bet. Or, I'm down to clown, you know?
Right? Like, I have one friend that responds back easily with an I love you too. And so I think it's not necessarily how people feel, but I think it's something that we don't tell each other a lot. And so we all have really weird
It's true.
responses to it, even though we shouldn't. We should tell people that we love them routinely.
Agreed. Agreed. I know when I started saying I love you, sister, to you, I'm glad that was received well, because on some level somebody could think that's weird.
Mhm. Yeah. But also it shouldn't be. You should you should be able to tell people that you love them platonically and it's not weird. Those are two very different emotions. And we still call them love because
Mhm.
that's the English language for you.
Yeah, I liked Danica. The whole like person in your life that only says I love you like 3 times over the course of 5 years is a real person. And it was nice to kind of hear Bryce's inner monologue the entire time about how I think she's like a feeler, a words of affirmation girly, and I think I am too. And it was nice to read her and be like, oh yeah, that I want the words of affirmation too, and I know exactly what it's like to be in relationships where you don't get them, but when you do get them, they
Yes.
hit hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so if we're talking about this big book, I know we kind of compared it to ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, but okay, this thing being so good, here's an interesting question: would you recommend this book to someone who is new to fantasy or romantasy?
Absolutely not. First off, I can't imagine recommending someone a 700-page book who's not prepared to go through that with that level of intention. So I think I would probably recommend starting with either Throne of Glass or ACOTAR first. Honestly, though, my favorite one that I recommend to a lot of people to get into romantasy is the Black Witch Chronicles, because the first book's like 200 pages. And so, and it's a novella. So, like, you kind of get a different side of the story, which is kind of nice. But that's been one of my
The
favorite
the Black
series.
Witch Chronicles. You
Yeah.
text me that.
I will. That's the book where I'm waiting for. The Dryad Storm is the final book in the series that I just got access on Libby. So I gotta go read that.
Okay. I would agree with you. I would not recommend this to somebody that is new. If I would recommend this to somebody if they've only read like one or two fantasy or romantasy books. I would say jump into this. Like if you read those two and you're like I'm into this, dude, take the plunge. This is freaking fantastic.
Would that be one or two of any type of romantasy series, or would that be one or two of SJM? Like, do you think you could start here at SJM's universe?
I think you could, but from everything that I've heard, you cannot read the next Crescent City books until you've read the other series.
Well, we'll find that out, won't we?
Yeah. I honestly think that ACOTAR is the way to get into romantasy. I think it's the perfect combination of like a fairy tale retelling, so it's very familiar, very
Yep.
easy to read, but it's also very different. I don't want to go so far as to call the first ACOTAR book unique because it's not. It's a whole bunch of tropes shoved together, but like that was the intention, right? But
Mhm.
um it has a very individualistic writing style, tone kind of things. So, I think it's a really good
She
way to
makes
get
something.
into this genre.
Yes, she makes something that's very familiar feel very fresh.
Okay, there's the soundbite. You win. um Okay, in Crescent City, if you lived there, what kind of like magical creature would you be? Or if you don't want to be a creature per se, what like you just want to be Fae, what would your power be? What power would you choose?
I'm always drawn to witches in stories, so that's probably where I would have leaned, especially given
Mm.
like my healthcare background and the healing component of that I always enjoy. But then the like dark mystical, like we're healing on the front side, but also you don't know what's going on in the back of the clinic. That's my kind of vibe.
I really like the witches in Crescent City a lot. I think I would die before becoming a wolf shifter. Sorry, Danica, but Sabine is a bitch, and the little cohort she's put together after Danica's Pack's death is just toxic, horrible.
That's true.
I don't want to be a snake shifter because the meat market sounds super sus. I don't want to be wet for my entire life, so being Myrrh also sounds pretty terrible. Like, if I'm gonna be wet, somebody's gonna make me wet. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think that really like, but like the man, the Autumn King is an asshole too, and the Archangels are dick munchers. Okay, so here's a question. Really like Jessica, the whole sorceress concept.
Mhm.
Is that different than being a witch?
In the book, it sounds very clear that it is different. She left the witches, right? Like that's what she was, but she left and she's using her powers differently. So that implies that they are definitely different.
All right, I'm joining Team Jessica. And if anybody listens to this, I'm sure that I just made a really dumb choice. Who Sierra, the witches, are they all healers? They're not all healers.
We don't really know that, but that's the only context we have for them so far. I don't think they are
Why
all witch healers, but we don't know more.
why does Sarah J. Maas write witches so great? Because like 100%, I might be tempted to leave my marriage for Manon. And I think the same goes for Hypaxia. But there's not a single other character that I could say that about. The witches be good.
Her book boyfriends are pretty good.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want a boyfriend.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
Actually, you know what? I'm waiting for book 2 to see. Maybe I would say that about Bryce. But book 1 Bryce is enough of a mess that I don't know if I could have the patience that Hunt has in a lot of those scenes.
Well, Hunt also has a lot of patience because he's got 1,000 years left to go. If I had 1,000 years left to go, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, take your time.
Yes, I've recently figured out that I'm now middle aged because the average life expectancy of somebody in the United States is like mid 70s, and I'm in my upper 30s. So I'm halfway there.
Hate to break it to you.
I can't imagine being Hunt's 250 years old.
No.
Speaking of which, here's a question for you. Maybe you can shed some light on this for me, Becca. All right, so are you, let's talk about like Jeff Bezos. Let's talk about Bill Belichick. Let's talk about these dudes be old
Mm-hmm.
and they got some hot to trot girlies on their
Mm-hmm.
arms, and we are all disgusted by it.
Mm-hmm.
And those age differences are like 50 years for like
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick and his girl, whose name I don't remember. Sorry if that makes me a sexist pig, but I guess I don't pay. Why are we so okay with Bryce being 25 and Hunt being 250? Why are we so okay with Thera being like 20 and Reese being, how old is Reese again? He's a couple hundred years old.
Yeah, like
Why are we
400, I
okay?
think.
Why are we okay? Why are we okay with this um, type of age difference in the romantasy genre, but when we see it in the news in our real life, where the age difference is only 50 years, it's just the worst thing ever.
But are we okay with it? Or do we just accept it because it's a trope that's easily written about and used a lot?
I mean, I accept it.
I mean, the fact that I appreciated that Bryce was like 26 in this book instead of 18, I mean, goes to show I'd be down for some cougar women, and some younger males. We can do like a 600-year-old woman and a 400-year-old man. Like, I want everyone of consenting age, just so we're clear.
I did really enjoy Bryce being a little bit older. I think I understand that when these girls in these books are like 18 years old, a lot of these stories are in some type of dystopian world where people are poor and you have to hunt, and like you grow up faster and when you grow up in poverty, right? So I understand this concept of these girls maturing faster and having more like solidified personalities. But I really appreciated Bryce being in her mid 20s because the sass, the personality, the sense of self is so much more believable in some way, shape, or form for me.
Yes. They're a little more developed. And let's be honest, your 20s, your 30s are still messy. They just aren't as outwardly messy as we picture teenagers, right? Who are yelling and going through their goth phase or whatever. But like, I don't know. I thought I'd have it figured out, and I don't. My 30s are just every day, day by day.
I think in the world we live in, if you don't take it day by day, I think you're crazy. Like, there's no such thing as a 5-year plan anymore. I don't think there is. Who was your favorite character? Who was it Hypaxia?
No, I think Hypaxia, the Viper Queen, they're all like side characters that you want to know more that we didn't get. But I think actually one of my favorite characters that we've got a decent amount of, I still want a lot more, is actually Rune. That yogurt man. I want some more of that yogurt man.
Yeah, I especially the way he's set up now, where he's no longer the most powerful Starborn. He's not the heir. Blah blah blah. Like, I am very curious how his arc is going to change.
And I don't think he ever wanted to be the heir. I think he felt complied to follow with what the Autumn King wanted him to do. And so I think that was displayed enough that I didn't hate him in the beginning. And so then watching his response to finding out that Bryce is actually much more powerful than him, I was like, yeah, that's the character. That's the one I want. He just always wanted the best for Bryce, even though he's kind of nagging and maybe a little misogynistic from time to time.
I'm going to be really interested to see where Rune goes because obviously he's got like the long hair, the lip ring, the tattoos. He's very indie goth alt combo. Mm-hmm. And on some way, shape, or form, that has always been rebellious. Mm-hmm. But now that he's not going to have that high title and future, does he get to go into that trope like full instead of it just being an angsty rebellion? I don't know what that means exactly, but
yeah, I don't know.
Also,
but who is your favorite character?
I wrote there's too many, Becca. I really like Hypaxia for as the tiny amount that she's in this book. I think, okay, so if we're talking about who's my favorite character, not necessarily because the character is good or benevolent or anything, it might be Jessica.
She is wickedly interesting.
Yeah.
Why does she have all these antiques, and why does she feel the need to protect them, but then also showcase her entire collection at the summit just to give information about what's going on with Bryce and Micah?
Mm-hmm. I really want to know what game she's playing. And I don't know why my gut tells me this, but my gut tells me that she's a good character. For as evil as she seems to be with turning her exes into creatures and aligning herself with the Underking and all of that, I think she has a good, benevolent end game. It might be self-serving. It might just be really good for the world at large, even if she's gonna like dick over all of the characters. But I think she's ultimately a good entity. I don't know why my gut tells me this, but I believe it.
how Bryce ended up with Jessica. I bet the Underking told Jessica who Bryce was and what was going on there, and that she needed to be protected at all cost. And so Jessica protected her like she protects all fine things and kept her in her antiquities shop.
Yeah, I want to know more. Especially because we do know that she moved. That's like, it's almost like, so in our world, the library that Jessica has, it's almost like she has the library of Alexandria.
Yes.
Or the Ark, Raiders of the Lost Ark, like the Ark of the Covenant, treasures or whatever. And anyways, I know we're talking about like favorite character, but whose arc over this entire first book surprised you the most, if any?
I'm going to go with Hunt's arc because I didn't know if Hunt's arc was going to be good or bad. And it was both.
I think I liked Hypaxia's character evolution, whatever you want to call it, the most, but I think Hunt's is the one that surprised me the most because I did not expect him to be in on like the synth deal to try to like redo the rebellion. I did not expect him to be a meat shield to save Bryce. Like he had some shockers. I'll tell you that.
Which death
you
hit you the hardest?
What about side characters? Oh, deaths. Oh shit. I 100% was not expecting Lihabah to sacrifice herself. And I think that one hit me in the feels the hardest. Like Danica was too early. And there's too much mystery about it. But Lihabah, especially since Bryce had just traded her however much money or servitude time or whatever away for Lihabah's freedom. Oh, stomach punch,
And those are really our only two good character deaths, if you will.
I think we're going to be on the same page for this one, but the most shocking death, Micah. Not the fact that he died.
The way it all happened.
The way he died
was so heroic. You had asked about favorite side characters, and Lihabah really did it for me when she saved Bryce. I think she became one of my favorite side characters. Also, the Viper Queen, because she's painted as this terrible, bad person who runs this filthy meat market, and then she ends up being pretty clean at the end.
Yeah, I'm guessing that there's going to be some type of tenuous on again, off again alliance with the Viper Queen between probably Hunt. But because of that, I'm hoping that we get a lot more page time with the Viper Queen in book 2 because I think she's pretty interesting. I want more of her motives,
Yes. Although I'm going to be honest with you, there was a character information dump at the end that kind of pissed me off with Rune and these telepathic abilities. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Why? I think that might be the only really major writing faux pas that SJM has ever made.
Did we need this connection between Rune and Hunt during the summit? No. So, does that mean we're going to learn more about his telepathic capabilities later and it's going to be more relevant? Maybe.
It has to be a thing. It has to be a thing moving forward. Otherwise, it's a waste of I don't want to say it's a waste of something. It's just a waste. It was a plot device. It was a Deus Ex Machina. I mean, the only thing that's made it quasi okay was when Bryce confronted him about it at the end, and Bryce essentially was like, "The fuck is this?" Like,
yeah. After all the secrets she held, obviously.
But it's super. I don't know if I dislike Rune for having this, or if I dislike SJM for just shoving it in the story willy-nilly at the end.
Its timing was too strange. Like, if it had come up a little bit earlier, or if it had come up in a true panic moment during the fight at the very end, maybe it would have been okay.
If it would have come up in, like, battle format as a way to, like, convey orders to, like, who was it? Flynn? I think Flynn went with Rune.
Yes.
Yeah, so if Rune was using it to command his people, like, that would have been a better way to put it on page.
And it doesn't make sense. So does just tunnel into someone's brain and then they're suddenly able to speak to him? Or can Hunt reach out spontaneously to Rune now? Or, like, how does that magic work?
I 100% agree. I can accept Rune sending a message to you.
Mhm.
How do you send one back? Because Rune is the telepath. Hunt isn't a telepath. Yeah, that's crazy to me.
It's not some mating bond or something like that that explains the science behind it.
It's, yeah. Speaking of things that we might not like, Micah's big info dump at the end that just explains literally everything to everybody. Does that seem a little like mustache twirly villain at the end?
Yeah, it's definitely like a game of Clue that we just played, and Micah just read out the final cards for us.
It was Micah in Danica's apartment with the syringe of synth.
Right.
And now it's going to
Like,
be Micah in Griffin Antiquities again with the syringe of synth. He's got
Right.
one move.
And that's it. I don't mind it, but it was a convenient ploy to use, right? I would have appreciated a little more fact finding along the way, but also she gave us a lot of facts along the way, so like I don't know that I would have changed the story any.
No. I liked the fact that Bryce didn't just know. She stumbled into Danica's computer, or account or whatever, which I thought was a good way for some dominoes to fall in place, but she still didn't know the entire story. And I feel like that's more real, and I like that because so often in these fantasy tropes, the main character protagonist just sort of seems to put the pieces together like that. And it's like, oh, that's boring. So I like that they struggled.
And I love that she still had her own secrets that she was keeping, but they were very reasonable, plausible secrets of, I don't want anyone to know about this weird ass power I have because people are going to get really weird about it.
And my daddy might kill me.
Yeah. Like, that's a great reason to keep a secret. And that was pretty much the only one she had.
Did you notice in that last chunk where Hunt was like, well, Bryce was lying to me the entire time too. Dude, you literally lied to her to keep her off the scent of finding out how her best friend died. And she lied to you about her birth because for self-preservation. Like, the two are not the same, man.
Nope, not the same.
Not the same.
All right. I think it's some time for some would you rathers from the characters.
Would you rathers?
The book. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You want me to throw these at you?
Yeah, you can take the first one.
Or do you want to go back and
forth?
Maybe
we'll go back and forth.
Okay. All right, Becca. Would you rather fight a Kristallos demon with only a pocket knife, or go one-on-one against Jessica without any weapon?
Okay, so we know that I'm dying either way. So I'm going to go with one-on-one with Jessica because at least there's a conversation to be had before I die. Maybe she'll give me some fun fact or something. And then also I'll probably be turned into a pig. And so I might actually get to live, just not as a human.
Okay, good answer. I don't know why, but I still think Jessica would kill me. But I don't know how. At least with the Kristallos demon, it's just like fists.
Fred.
I have no idea how to defend myself against Jessica.
All right. Would you rather be trapped inside the Viper Queen's casino for 24 hours or spend 24 hours babysitting Sabine?
All right, this one's easy for me. 100% I'm going with the Viper Queen.
Yeah.
In my past life, I knew how to have a good time. You know? I don't know how to talk to stupid. There is no fixing stupid. Stupid is forever. And I ain't got any patience for that shit.
I don't think
I can handle the drugs. Maybe not. No.
She's vindictive as shit.
Unfounded.
Though.
Unfounded. Yes. Hyper
aggressive.
Hyper aggressive.
Like,
I don't think all of the pieces have fit together in the puzzle in her mind. I think she's very smart. I think she's very ambitious. I think Sabine is stupid the same way that people in Congress are stupid. Obviously, they're smart because they got to where they're at, but all the pieces of the puzzle are missing. Yeah. Okay. Would you rather have Lihiba narrate your entire life out loud forever, following you around, or be stuck explaining Crescent City's government system to confused tourists every single day?
If I am explaining Crescent City's government system to confused tourists, does that mean I get to understand it?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to go
yes.
with that option because I have so many questions left with this government structure.
I would go with Lihiba narrating my life because I could use that obnoxious positivity in my life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was a solid. All right. Would you rather date Hunt with all his baggage or date Rune with all his family drama?
I don't have a good answer for this one. I'm going to date Rune because Rune's friends seem awesome.
Rune seems pretty okay. Rune's friends seem awesome. Listen, I don't understand how Hunt's been around for like 500 years and hasn't found time for therapy, okay?
Some of these Fae men in all of these series that have so many long-standing problems that they've never been able to get past. Okay, yes, I don't. Why not therapy? But also, why haven't you done what all the rest of us have done and found some hobby that is just pure escapism?
Yeah.
That gives you some personality outside of your trauma.
Well, Hunt was murdering demons, so he did have that going for him.
But like that was his trauma. Like that was trauma on top of his original trauma. Okay, would you rather be stuck doing small talk with the Autumn King at every single holiday gathering, or have Sabine as either your stepmom or mother-in-law?
Definitely the Autumn King small talk every single holiday because you would be dismissed within 5 minutes. So I just have to do 5 minutes worth of work 4 or 5 times a year. That sounds fine. I'll do that.
Dude, if the Autumn King is going to dismiss me after 5 minutes at holidays, I'm going to be one hungry individual. I don't know if that's enough time to get food down.
Dismissed from conversation. You'd be too much of a plebeian for him to bother. He's drinking a scotch in the fancy armchair in the corner.
Hey, I like scotch. I agree with you. I would pick the Autumn King as well. No to Sabine, just no. And if she gets a redemption arc in the next 2 books, I might not be okay with that because I so thoroughly dislike her already. So thoroughly.
Would you rather have an entire syringe of Synth, knowing you may or may not survive, or babysit Syrinx while he's hopped up on Synth?
If I do the entire bottle of Synth, we only know that I might survive, right? So that to me means I don't have an antidote on hand. Syrinx you can't lock away because Syrinx can get out. He's magic. He can just go places. Oh, this would be a rock and a hard place. I don't want Syrinx to die. I don't want him to overdose on it and shred himself. So jab me in the leg with some Synth. There you go.
That's where I was coming from. I was like, one way I'll probably die, one way, or both ways I'll die, one way I can make sure one of us survives.
Okay.
All right, so I think that will do us for the House of Earth and Blood.
First, how did you rate this book?
Oh. What's our scale?
Let's just go a story graph out of 5.
Out of 5. I think I might have, if we're going with story graph, I think there's a loophole. I think I gave it a 5.5 because I liked it that much.
I tried to give it a 5.75 and it just reverted to a 5. And that pissed me off.
Well, maybe there's not a loophole then. Maybe it's auto-corrected for me.
Yes, okay. If we're out of 5, I'm rating it a 6 out of 5. Highly recommend. Tell your friends. I cannot wait to read the next book. But since this is the end of House of Earth and Blood. You can always let us know what you all thought of this book. Leave us a comment, give us a review, email us at bookclubbybecca@gmail.com, or DM us on Instagram. You can find us at Becca's Book Club Adventure. That's all one word, all lowercase. And if you do, we might just feature you on our next episode.
Speaking of which, next time on Becca's Book Club Adventure, we're going to start diving into the second book of Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath. And we'll be reading Part 1, The Chasm.
So until next time, continue conserving your first light energy so you can keep reading those books. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.